Hey. So I have been in the midst of some client calls today, and something that starts to come up every year around this time is, traveling to see family for the holidays. We're entering into this season, and I know that certainly a lot of the peeps I journey with and that I work with come into this time of year, and they start to get really anxious. And of course, that doesn't serve them physiologically, mentally, spiritually, and wanting to have so much impact heading into the fourth quarter. And, if we're following that calendar year, then kicking off into January with energy and vitality. It's really how we play up this winter solstice that can make all the difference in what we're projecting out for the new year, calendar year. But I really do like to tap into it from more of a seasonal perspective, because there's so much physiology, and when we tap into the energy and the power of the seasons, it can really, really benefit us on a very, very corporeal, like physiological way. And that certainly also is what we get to embody for our spirit, for our mind as well. So the number one thing that I share with my clients, and this is, certainly, it's always a moving, working experience, I find, every year, how we dance around this. But anchor this in, that you're an adult now. Like, that's the coolest thing, right? You made it out. So if you happen to have the relationship with your parents, or, whoever raised you, your elders, where they're really critical of you, and even as an adult, they're still the first to tell you like how you screwed things up, and, whatever it is, like, oh, you're wearing that, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too passive, you're too angry, you're too stupid, you're too fill in the blank. It's, you don't have to let that land in your system in any kind of imprint anymore, right? I mean, that's kind of the funny experience of all of this, like going back and seeing family for the holidays is like, wait a minute, you can actually just remember that you're an adult, like, and you've decided to be consciously awakened in, maybe you're living the kind of life where you realize that you're not those things. So if you are kind of stepping into this conscious awareness that, like, I actually am perfectly enough just the way I am, then your relationships with everyone you see at the holidays then gets to be different. So that's a big shift. I know I experience with a lot of my clients is like, wow, I don't have to be a part of this. However, even though you don't have to be a part of it, the relationship that you have with your family can be very powerful, very profound, very fun. It's you that changes the way that you are experiencing it that makes all the difference. So, a few days around family members, it's very easy for you to kind of revert back to those childhood beliefs, right? To the old programming. That again, if you're conscious, you start to be aware of it, like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm kind of reverting back to like, oh, I'm a naughty little girl and I shouldn't do that. And oh my gosh, wait, I'm actually an adult. So you get to see it. So for the holidays, you can really choose ahead of time how you want to spend it by being aware of this. You don't have to do it the way that the unconscious collective is doing it, where everybody gets together and everybody's shooting each other down and it's complaining and everybody's dreading it ahead of time. So you're already setting yourself up with drained energy because you're actually anxious. So what does that mean? You're actually anticipating future disaster at that Thanksgiving table now in the present moment and causing your cells to constrict and contract. And you're actually creating shitty feelings now in the moment, which create exhaustion and depletion now. And it's November 14th. So we got 2 weeks till the holidays start to kick in and you're already in depletion. So, one thing I would love to contribute is choose different. Like, if you're going to be shooting into the future, why not choose a timeline that really serves you? You get to choose how you want to spend it. So how do you make your own ritual? How do you make your own fun? How do you want to navigate through the relationships that you have in the family, in the house, right? During the holidays, you get to choose that, and you can start kind of anticipating how you're going to show up now and put your energy and focus into what feels really good to you, what will help you feel good about yourself. You get to reprogram that. You get to choose entirely what kind of experience you want to have. Like, that's ultimate freedom. So even just feeling that right now, ooh, right? You can turn that anxiety into an excitement. You can alchemize that energy just like that. Again, same physiological feeling. One is excited, that's aroused and pleasant. One is anxious, that's aroused and unpleasant. So you can alchemize that in the moment. And you're free, right? And remember, that's the big point here. You are free. You made it. You could do whatever you want to do. You're an adult. You want to eat ice cream at the dinner table. Like, even if the family's like, no, you shouldn't eat ice cream before turkey dinner. You'd be like, actually, I can. I'm just as worthy and just as much of an adult here as anybody else. I'm only saying that because when I was a kid, that was like my dream. It was like, when I grow up, I'm going to have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, now that I'm an adult, I realize that doesn't really make me feel good about myself, but that's a whole other topic. The bottom line is you're free, right? You get to do what you want, and you don't have to feel guilty about it either. That's the other funny part, is just simply like, what would make you feel good about yourself, and does it create goodwill for others in your family? And boom, then you're in. Like, it just gets to really be that easy, and you get to drop the guilt, right? Like, guilt is another thing that absolutely sucks your energy instantaneously. That is so much depletion right there. And again, you can shift that. I find it so beautiful because the antonym for guilt is innocence. And isn't that really what we're talking about here? It's like, you get to act from your innocent, youthful heart. No, there is no guilt, right? And the opposite of feeling guilty is feeling peaceful. And what a great way to enter your Thanksgiving meal than to be innocent and peaceful. How delightful is that, right? So here's the pattern shift exercise that I've been sharing with some of my clients, and it's just so much fun. Like, if you do happen to have that parental figure, that parental unit that is like the critical, like, just like will shoot you down and like just get right into like those places with you, those triggers, like, ooh, right? It's the biggest freaking gift in the world. So like, you don't have to have like the parent that's going to tell you how awesome you are in order to feel awesome. It's just simply anything coming from a parent is a blessing because it's energy. So isn't that a relief? It's not what they're saying. It's the fact that somebody's showing up and paying attention to you. Now, you can't control the form of that attention. However, you can sure as heck take the energy of that attention. You can scoop that energy up, and you can choose to wield it in a way that works for you or against you. And that is such awesome superhuman power that each and every one of us has. So it's a blessing. Like, regardless, like if dad's like, oh, you really screwed that up, didn't you? Blessing. If the mom is like, ooh, like, when are you going to just settle down and just get married already? It's like getting old here. And you're like, oh, that's okay. Blessing. Or you have the parent, that's like, oh, you look so beautiful. Blessing. Or, oh, what a great job you did. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Blessing. It's all a blessing. So it's a relief because you don't have to tie into what they're saying. The words are not really relevant. It's really just, can you be open to receiving that? Because once you can just be open, then you're like, I could just have a good relationship with them. You're totally free. Why did you do that? You totally fucked that up. What were you thinking? That was a terrible idea. And then like, I'm just really worried about you. Great. Like, okay. So you can crank up that power. You can get a whole current of their worry to move completely in your favor. They're paying attention to you and they're worrying about you. That is some powerful energy right there. So you can simply like, okay, request their prayers, right? Like give them something to do. Give them the list of all the things that you want and then get them busy worrying and praying on it, because they want to show up. They want to support you. They want you. They're worrying because they care, because they want you to be okay. So they may invoke the whole town. And that's totally friggin' awesome, right? Like that's generating a ton of attention and intention just for you, right? What a powerful force. Like, hey, mom, you're right. Like, hey, dad, you're right. Like, I really screwed that up. Can you pray for me? you know, it's so awesome when you just get to shift and it's in you, right? Like their intentions are there. The way you're receiving it is totally up to you. Receive it all as an amazing blessing, because that is exactly what it is. And know that the parental force is just one of like, I want to solve problems. I want to make things better. And so all you're doing is taking that stored potential energy that they have welling up inside of them and literally igniting it into this kinetic force that's moving for you. So like, you know, hey, like I was just having a conversation with a client this morning. Like, isn't it great that you know that like your whole hometown is like going to work praying for you around this? Like, that's awesome. Instead of being like upset that your mom is worried about you and got, you know, half the church to pray for you, she got half the church to pray for you. Oh my God, isn't that freaking awesome? So it's just a simple shift, but it's so profound. And some other tools you can use building up to the holidays certainly are. It's a wonderful time to meditate. If you're not already in regular practice with meditation, I highly recommend this. Is a great time to start. You know, practicing mantras, going for walks in nature, getting really in touch, even if it's a change in season, just being in the cold is very curative, very empowering. Good nutrition this time of year, lots of nourishment, of course, and pray for what you want. You do it, right? And when I say pray, if that triggers you, then pray is just another word for manifest. Same thing, right? Like, what are you calling in right now? Get intentional with that. So that way, if someone else is asking, if someone raised their hand, says, basically, if mom goes, can I manifest for you? Are you going to say no? You're going to be like, sure, here's my list. Right? This is what you get to be excited and preparing for now, instead of anxious about what a shit show it's going to be at Thanksgiving dinner. Set intentions for yourself right now. I was honoring another client this morning and saying like, well, why not make this holiday season about your spiritual journey, your spiritual growth, your evolution, adaptation, right? This is a cleansing and a clearing. The winter solstice is a very, very powerful time of year. It's the deepest time of year for emptying, and it's very potent. It's very profound. And so if we tap in and we understand that and we go into this place where we're nourishing ourselves and we're giving ourselves what we need, we can really create some tremendous adaptation. When I say adaptation, I literally mean, you know, deepening your relationships with yourself, with others, evolving, creating more enlightenment, more depth, more meaning in your life, more ecstasy in your life, which is, you know, inner peace. So what we all want, right? So I hope that this was helpful. I feel like it was something that will really resonate with most everyone, because we do have this, you know, if we are blessed with amazing parents who offer support, then amplify that. And if we weren't blessed with that, then whatever that energy is, wield it and move it in the direction of your sacred dreams. Peace out. So much love and happy pre-holidays.